Hey, it's SLVRDLLR here. I'm back playing a brand new game called Aegis Defenders. Aegis. Aegis. I don't know. Anyways, it's brand new. It's actually still in development, and they're coming out with a Kickstarter campaign on July 30th. So, just something to look out for. The game has tons of potential. It's pretty awesome. It's got great graphics, gameplay's solid. And just from the first level that I played, it looks like there's some cool things I can do with this game. So basically, for anyone who's played like Risk of Rain, there's some elements there that'll be familiar. It's an action platformer. It starts out with this little tutorial, how to shoot your gun, WSAD, whatever. I did it the first time around. This is my second playthrough. The first time I played on normal mode and got my ass kicked. So I had to, noob it up and go down to easy mode. So I tried like 10 times. You can keep going continue, but unfortunately you lose everything you built. So I don't know if that's maybe something they gotta kind of iron out, because it seems like when you go continue, you're always gonna get screwed. Now, while it is like action platformer style, it also has a tower defense aspect to it. So you'll see the game goes in waves, and each wave progressively gets harder, and you have the player phase, which is basically like a building phase, that you have in any tower defense style game, and then it switches over to, I guess, enemy phase, where the waves start coming. The building at the moment is limited a little bit, so you have this grandfather guy here. And he can build all your turrets and your blocks. His name is Bart. And then you got the granddaughter, Clute, the blue one there. And she builds, landmines, spikes on the ground, and sort of slow orbs. So if guys walk through them, it slows them. So pretty standard fare for anyone who's played any tower defense stuff. And yeah, once the waves start coming, you basically just kind of run back and forth from the left side to the right side, killing these different enemies. And there seems to be, I guess, two or three spawn points on each side. So there's sort of that up in the middle where they walk out and then drop down. And then just up above one level. They seem to come out there as well. So it's pretty well balanced at the moment, just in terms of, on normal mode it was definitely challenging, and even on easy, it wasn't like a walk in the park, I guess. So you run around and you can pick up these little gold coins, and I'll call them blue coins, but I have no idea. I can't remember what they had some name for them in the story. But the story, you get a little bit of the story when you're going through the tutorial. Basically, there's, ancient civilization left some technology around, and now you're living in the Dark Ages, and you come across this technology and you need it to, save your whatever little hometown from the big bad evil empire. I think that's the gist of it, but yeah. So you go through these waves. I'm going to skip through the waves. You can unlock some weapons too. So I unlock like a laser turret right there. So I'll skip through the waves though, just so you can see the different enemies, and you can sort of see it at the beginning, and then I'll show it to you a little bit later on, like how hard it gets, I guess. So this is the hardest enemy here, this large fat blob thing. It actually eats stuff that you've built, so that can end up setting you back a little bit, which is kind of a pain. The spikes on the ground help a lot though. So this little guy, he keeps coming out of the ground every few waves, and doesn't really explain it, and I don't think the characters know at this point in the game, but basically you're trying to get this guy completely out of the ground, and then I think later on in the game, or at least the next level, you're looking for something to power him up with. So that's sort of where the story goes from here. So the enemies, if you plant blocks up there, they can eventually just destroy those. So you sort of end up losing your resources a little bit, which are limited. And you start out with 100 health, and they sort of hit you for about 4 or 5 health at a time, I think. So yeah, see this guy here, he just destroyed one of our turrets, which was unfortunate. And that's where I think when I was playing in normal mode, I couldn't recover from when I'd get stuff destroyed. Whereas on easy, yeah, it was a little bit more manageable. These are the little bit harder version of the normal minions, a little spinny hedgehog bastards. But they're not too bad. Alright. So yeah, we're coming up, yeah, a little bit further towards the end here. So I'm getting, pretty good loaded up on stuff. I got like tons of spike strips down, tons of slows, and, 4 turrets on each side. Oh yeah, those are the little flying minions there, flying eyeball minions. Those start coming out pretty early on, but you gotta get to them quick. So the way you lose is if any of those minions hit basically just the midpoint of the map, you die, and you instantly lose. So it's not too forgiving. All they got to do is get there. So the flying guys can really screw you over if you don't pay attention or you don't get there in time. They don't have a ton of health, thankfully, but yeah, there's another blob man. Nice. Fat blob man eats spikes. Alright, so yeah, I don't know, they got great graphics in the game though. If you check out their website, you'll see they have tons of concept art, and it looks like they have backgrounds and enemies designed already for a number of levels above this. So I guess they're doing a Kickstarter thing to raise money and then be able to sort of finalize everything and fully develop it. But at least based on this, they got a pretty solid starting ground. One thing, and this is probably just from having played, I guess, Risk of Rain, and I'm sort of a big fan of the bullet hell games. One thing, there aren't a ton of minions, and I know that that's pretty standard fare when it comes to tower defense games. You don't get, I guess later on maybe you get overrun, but at least at the outset, I guess it's not a ton of guys. But I think that's one thing I'd like to maybe see in this, is just you have a few more minions with a little bit less health, I guess. So, it doesn't feel like you're just putting 100 shots into each minion or whatever, because it gets, feels a little bit more tedious that way, I guess. Whereas I think it would be maybe feel faster paced if there was, maybe 10 of these blob guys, but you could kill them a lot faster, something like that. But that's just, small balancing stuff, and I'm sure they've got a vision. Oh, the Aegis is powering on. It's like that tech support problem where at the end of the day, it just turns out that someone forgot to plug the cord in. Yeah, someone kicked the power bar. Yeah, oh, you gotta get more power bars. So yeah, this is the end of the first level. Check out their Kickstarter, and it's definitely a good game to sort of keep an eye on. Congrats, you beat the game. I think I should just Photoshop out that easy mode and put it on insane. Aegis Defenders, check it out. SLVRDLLR.